Hi, this is Jack Austin from jackaustin.com and Quantum Breakthroughs. I call this presentation The Anatomy of Leadership. We all seek lifelong success. And in business and private life, the most important factor in success is not simply IQ or intelligence quotient, cognitive problem solving, analysis, technical skills, things like that, but emotional intelligence, or EI. Thousands of studies of managers, executives, and employees have proven repeatedly that EI is a more important predictor of business and life success than IQ. Repeated studies show compassion and empathy, two key elements of EI, are critical life success skills. Lifelong success has 6 elements that are critically important, or areas of focus. And while it may be important about creating personal and professional results, effectiveness first demands these 6 things. Continuous self-development, otherwise known as self-mastery. A constancy of curiosity and learning. We call it wisdom. A passion for people, relationships, and service. An impeccable character, what is known as trustworthiness. A hunger for greatness, that is called leadership. And a commitment to a cause bigger than oneself. This is where purpose, mission, contribution, and legacy lie. All 4 in this one very powerful quadrant. Lifelong success requires passion as the driving force for purpose, mission, contribution, and legacy. Passion for the focus of the individual or the business, its purpose of accomplishment, its reason for being. Passion for mission, what that business or individual is about in the world and what they seek to achieve, the difference they want to make. Contribution, passion for contribution is giving to others, giving to groups, giving to a greater sense of self and the world. And passion for legacy is the drive to hand something down to future generations, to have something more than just mere scratches on the soil as the remnant of one's existence. Lifelong success is also made up of leadership at its core. The core of success is leadership. And self-leadership, mastery, discipline, focus, all of these go into making leadership and trust. Being counted on for oneself and 2 others, trust is the greatest of these traits, creating the core of leadership itself. Trustworthy? What do we mean by trustworthy? If I am going to lead, I must first be trusted. To be trusted, I must be trustworthy. Trustworthiness is born from character and from competence, from the habits of correct choice and from the competence to be able to deliver on it. The impact of trust is very, very powerful. It has a geometrical impact. And it can be written as this equation. High trust equals high speed plus low cost. This is particularly true in business. low trust equals low speed plus high cost, and this has been the ruin of many a business. Trust is the core of leadership. So much so that weak trust fails to inspire, does a poor job clarifying purpose, fails to align systems, and never unleashes talent. Whereas high trust inspires trust in others, trust in oneself, clarifies purpose with finite perfection of clarity, aligns systems in powerful and energetic ways, and unleashes talent with explosive powers. The 4 chronic problems and their solution are low trust, no clear purpose of vision, bureaucratic or misaligned systems, or both, and underutilized talent and wasted potential. The solution for these 4 chronic problems is high trust, which inspires trust in others, clarifies purpose, aligns systems powerfully, and gives the talent permission to work in business and in individuals, in governmental organizations, and in nonprofits, everywhere in life. Trust inspires the unleashing of the talent of groups and of individuals. The 4 imperatives of great leaders are to inspire trust, clarify purpose, align systems, and unleash the talent of individuals and groups. Imperative 1, to inspire trust, is a bridge. A great leader says, "I get things done through personal influence and credibility." That's informal or moral authority. A great leader inspires trust, and through trust is able to get things done through influence from personal experience, personal leadership, personal power, from credibility, from the capacity of organizations, but yet without moral authority or religious backing or political trust. An example of this is the values that govern from Gandhi. A changeless core, I will tolerate injustice from no man, and I will control my responses and my temper. Gandhi led from influence, not from legitimate power. He was never elected. He was never appointed. He stepped up to a position of leadership, and he was followed because of the power of his credibility. The voice of Gandhi is no different from the voice of anyone else. However, Gandhi's voice is connected to his soul, and his soul is what is inspired. What Gandhi says is what Gandhi feels, is what Gandhi believes, is what Gandhi does. This is walking the talk. This is congruency. Colonel William Barrett Travis died at 27 years of age at the Alamo. And he wrote this: "If this call is neglected, I am determined to sustain myself as long as possible and die like a soldier who never forgets what is due to his own honor and that of his country." Colonel Travis gave his life at the Alamo. Rumi, the 13th century mystic, wrote, "Those who are here unfaithfully do incredible damage." And we can see this in our society in so many different places where people who have been given legitimate authority, either by force of arms, by government authority, by powers put in them by trust, and who have failed us. And they do incredible damage to just the idea of authority and of trust. Trust. Tom Peters says, "Ask yourself mercilessly, do I exude trust?" Exude, E-X-U-D-E, a big word. Do I smack of trust? Think about it carefully. Trust is so important that it must be dealt with separate in order to give it its due, because it makes all the difference. Character is destiny. This is the belief of Heraclitus, Greek poet and philosopher 2,500 years ago. He wrote, "The soul is dyed the color of its thoughts. The content of your character is your choice. Day by day, what you choose, what you think, and what you do is who you become. Your integrity is your destiny. It is the light that guides your way." Imperative 2, clarifying your purpose. A great leader says, "If a clear and a compelling purpose exists, people will volunteer their best efforts." That's a powerful concept. This can be seen from amazing examples, movies about the Alamo, the film Jerry Maguire, The Last of the Mohicans. When trust is inspired, all the difference is made, and purpose is clarified. Florence Chadwick. This is an example of a great swimmer. She was born November 9th, 1918, and died March 15th, 1995. She was the first woman to swim the English Channel in both directions. She was born in San Diego and had her first swimming competition at the age of 10, and at the age of 11 competed in her first challenging competition, a rough water swim, and she placed fourth. But Chadwick's biggest contribution to swimming history occurred in August the 8th, 1950, when she crossed the English Channel in 13 hours and 20 minutes from the French side, breaking the then world record held by American swimmer Gertrude Ederle. 1 year later, Chadwick crossed the English Channel yet again from England to France, this time in 16 hours and 22 minutes, thus making her the first woman to swim the English Channel in both directions and setting a record for the England-France journey. In 1952, Florence attempted to swim the 26 miles between Catalina Island and the California coastline. As she began, she was flanked by small boats that watched for sharks and were prepared to help her if she got hurt or grew tired. After about 15 hours, a thick fog set in, and Florence began to doubt her ability, and she told her mother, who was in one of the boats, that she didn't think she could make it. She swam for another hour before asking to be pulled out, unable to see the coastline due to the fog. As she sat in the boat, she found she had stopped swimming just 1 mile away from her destination. 2 months later, Chadwick tried again. This time was different. The same thick fog set in, but she made it because she said that she kept a mental image of the shoreline in her mind while she swam. Hard work does not wear people out. Operating in the fog does. A nation of dreamers is what we are. Lewis and Clark dreamt to blaze a new path. Jonas Salk to end polio. The Wright brothers to fly. Kennedy to go to the moon. The Texians to be independent. Our founding fathers to birth a new nation. And Martin Luther King, he had a dream of equality. But when people of action cease to believe in a cause, they then begin to believe only in the action. And when it comes to people who are in the military or who are of the police, this can lead to catastrophic incidences. When people of inaction cease to believe in a cause, they then to believe only in inaction and apathy, leaving the door open for disbelievers everywhere. Why do we exist? Honor never grows old, and honor rejoices the heart of age. It does so because honor is, finally, about defending those noble and worthy things that deserve defending, even if it comes at a high cost in our time, that may mean social disapproval, public scorn, hardship, persecution, or, as always, even death itself. The question remains, what is worth defending? What is worth dying for? What is worth living for? William J. Bennett got this very clear for the Naval Academy, November 24th, 1997. Without knowing why we exist, hardships are not born, and greatness is not achieved. Imperative 3 is align systems. The great leader says, enduring success is in the systems. And so, through inspired trust and clarified purposes, the great leader leads the alignment of systems. 90% of organizational failure has nothing to do with people. The failure is in the systems, said W. Edwards Deming. All organizations are perfectly aligned to get the results that they get. And even though individuals run systems, systems are only so good as what they're designed to create. And often, misaligned leaders will choose the wrong systems or the wrong alignment in order to establish a system that's more about order than it is about justice. Success is in the systems. Larry Bossidy, co-author of Execution, The Discipline of Getting Things Done, with Ram Charan, wrote, the primary role of a leader is execution. When CEOs get in trouble, it is because they fail to deliver on promises. They fail to execute. And when they fail to deliver on promises, they fail in their trust, and they fail to execute because they have no followers. They are lacking in clarity, and they miss the boat. One of the most important ways to stay relentlessly focused on what is wildly important is called a WIG, a wildly important goal, or WIG. These are the vital few goals that must be achieved to fulfill the purpose, or nothing else you achieve really matters much at all. Pretty important goals, PIGs, are goals that represent the many good things you can do, and PIGs are the enemies of WIGs. An example of how goals versus WIGs come into existence is goals are exampled by win the Civil War. A WIG is that the nation would endure something greater than just winning a war. Send a man to the moon. A WIG is enhance our nation's focus on science, engineering, and innovation so that we can be great. And defeat the Iraq insurgency, clearly a goal. Whereas the WIG is instill democracy in the Middle East in ways that even our own actions might not have known that we inspired. The value of clear goals. In the absence of clearly defined goals, we become strangely loyal to performing daily acts of trivia. The unknown author of this statement would have probably supported the idea of keep them in the castle. Because if you let them out, what will they do? Imperative 4, unleashing talent. A great leader says, my job is to release the talent and passion of our team toward our highest priorities. And this is the natural result of inspired trust, clarified purpose, aligned systems. Unleashing talent means that the individuals and the teams are free to exercise their true capacities, to experiment with their potentialities, and to bring their best into the game. The talent war. We are all in the talent business as much as Hollywood or Broadway or pro sports. That's what Tom Peters says. Without talent, we cannot be great. Without talent, we won't be able to accomplish what needs to be done. What about your team? Choices are everywhere. The choice to rebel or quit, to have malicious obedience, willing compliance, or to cross the line into cheerful cooperation, heartfelt commitment, or creative excitement. What is it about your team? What are they doing? Where are the people on your team? How much of their talent, passion, and commitment are they volunteering? Where are you on this scale? The whole person diagram drives what great leaders do. And this is the way it works. The mind, the body, and the heart are combined with the spirit. The 4 parts. And this is what inspires trust, clarifies purpose, aligns systems, and unleashes talent. This is the motivation of creating something greater than the sum of the parts, or synergy. And what is it that causes this spiritual alignment? something more than head and hands in the workplace, when heart and spirit actually show up? Well, the levels of engagement shift when this occurs. We're above the line when this happens. Cheerful cooperation exists, heartfelt commitment exists, and when the spirit is brought in, creative excitement. It's not just will and compliance. You bought my body. You're paying for my mind. The whole person paradigm says the sacrifice of leadership is real, and renewal is the key. Without spirit or inspiration, spiritus, clarifying of purpose with the mind, aligning of systems with the body, and unleashing talent with the heart will not occur. What actually happens is a transformation. You effectively end up taking mild-mannered Bruce Wayne and turning him into Batman. Bruce Banner becomes the Hulk. But you don't want to spook the herd with all this ruckus. Yet you still need to light the fire, and light the fire all day. To ignite the talent and passion of others, you must be fully engaged yourself. So how do you light your own fire in order to light the fire of others? The symbolism of the torch of the Olympic Games. In which direction are you headed in life? In your work, play, relationship, health, finances, where must you be better in order to be able to make the difference that is inspired by trust? Bill Walton said of John Wooden, John Wooden is still the same teacher, the same positive force, the person we would all like to become, only better. Better because John Wooden represents the conquest of substance over hype, the triumph of achievement over erratic flailing, the conquest of discipline over gambling, and the triumph of executing an organized plan over the hoping that you'll be lucky, hot, or in the zone. John Wooden also represents the conquest of sacrifice, hard work, and commitment to achievement over the pipe dream that someone will just give you something, or that you can take a pill or turn a key to get what you want. John Wooden is about principle and character. How can we warriors earn this? We are warriors in this battle against inertia. We can earn this by learning, striving, preparing, and yet in the end we can never truly earn it. We may never be worthy of what our potentiality is, of what our character might be, but we honor the sacrifice of those who have come before us by our willingness to do and be our best. Never die easy. Finish strong. Do something right now. Let's go. Urgency is what it's all about. Do something in the next half hour. Don't let yourself get stuck. There's always something little you can start, do in the next 30 minutes to make a wee concrete step forward with a problem opportunity. Notice the combination of the words, because every problem is an opportunity to make a difference. Because if not you, then who? If not now, then when? If not here, then where? The audacity of hope. What's troubling is the gap between our challenges and the smallness of our politics, the ease with which we are distracted by petty and the trivial, our chronic avoidance of tough decisions, our seeming inability to build a working consensus to tackle any big problem. Barack Obama, President of the United States. Is it so audacious to hope that we can get over this inertia, this inability to work in consensus and to tackle any big problem? Because we are needing leadership. And it starts with us.